Here are the subs I have in the back of my car, in my trunk. These are two Orion Subs. They're 10 inches. They run at 400 watts max power, so 200 watts each nominal power. They're in a sealed sub box, so you get accurate bass. And they're divided in the middle. There's a divider in the middle, so each sub is in its own enclosed case. They run at 4 ohms each, and I have them connected in parallel to the amps, so they're getting 2 ohms. And yeah, so these are from the mid to late 90s. Good pair of subs. I've had them for a while. I enjoy them. I'm not going to upgrade or anything because 400 watts is all I really need in the small car, and that's what anybody should really need. You know, too much power, or, you know, the thousands of watts people put in their vehicles and stuff for subs and stuff is just, it's way too much. I like to have a good balanced sound, and the way this system is set up and with these subs, I have a good balanced sound inside the car. Now I have them facing out because you get better bass response that way, instead of having them turned in and facing the seats, which would be, it would be baffled that way, so you wouldn't get as much bass inside. So the waves pretty much, they come out into the trunk, and I usually keep stuff in here too, which doesn't really make that much of a difference. So with the trunk closed, you get better bass inside. With it open, you get better bass on the outside. I'll show you the amp I have on the left here. I'll pull it out. This is a 400 watt kicker amp, and it's attached to the side of the sub box. I purchased this all together. And I'll show you, if I can get down in here, I'll show you what I have for the settings. I have the crossover, which is on the bottom there. It's set to about 160 hertz because that's the cutoff for my main speakers inside the car. So where those speakers cut off is where the sub kicks in. I have my gain control is at about 25 to 30%, around there. And I have the bass boost completely off because I don't like having the bass boost on. I like what I said earlier, I like having a balanced sound, so having a bass boost off makes it better that way for me. Having a bass boost on gives you higher frequency responses, so you get more boominess at lower frequency responses. So the back here, we have the RCA inputs. They come from the output of my head unit in the car, left and right, into here, which is preamp. And we have the speaker connections. Those are connected to the speakers in parallel. And over at the bottom here, we have a subsonic filter, and I have that on. What the subsonic filter does is it filters and cuts off frequencies below 20 hertz, 25 to 20 hertz. That is because your ears really can't pick up frequencies below that, but the sub can still output it. So what you're doing is you're cutting that off to save damage to your speakers. Not so much with a sealed box, but that's more for a ported box. And with that, if it plays frequencies below 20 hertz, you'll feel it more than you hear it. You won't hear it below 20 hertz, you'll feel it. But I turn it off because I don't really want to feel anything lower than that. And, you know, with things like MP3 players and that, you don't really get frequencies below 20 hertz, depending on the quality of the MP3, you know, with your iPods and stuff like that. So I just leave the subsonic filter on, so it just cuts off the frequencies below that, because you're not going to hear them regardless. So yeah, we've got an amp strapping setting, so you can connect multiple kicker amps together or other amps together for more power, and it even has a remote bass feature. I don't have that. My head unit has all those settings and stuff, so I leave what I have set here for the crossover and the gain and that, and then I do the rest of my controls on my head unit. So yeah, there you go. This is a 400 watt kicker amp. Most amps will output an ohm rating between 2 and 8, so having these two 10-inch speakers connected in parallel to run in 2 ohms is not going to put any strain on the amp. Now, it does have a fan inside because, well, a trunk gets really hot, and most of the time your trunk is closed, so it needs to have some airflow. It handles it pretty well. I've never had it overheat or anything like that. I'll pull it to the back here. There's a fuse in this, and then I'll show you what the connectors do. It's pretty obvious. This blue one, I ran a line directly from the battery. After it goes from the battery, it goes to a little fuse holder. So this is a fused connection, because this is constant power all the time, directly from the battery. And it just runs down along the hood and then into the firewall and then along the body of the car inside, covered up, the same with the RCA cable from the head unit, and then all the way to the back here. So it's constant 12 volts directly from the battery. Then down here we have the remote wire, and that connects to the head unit. So when you turn the head unit on, it signals a relay in here that turns the amp on. So when the head unit's off or the car's not running, this doesn't stay on and drain your battery. And then over here we have the neutral, or the ground wire. I drilled a hole in the side of the trunk here to attach it to the body, because the body is a neutral from the battery. And then with a neutral you want to go your shortest distance. So that was pretty simple. And yeah. So that's it. That's pretty much what I have for my subs. I don't need a whole lot of power. Like I said, I enjoy having balanced sound. And I don't like going down the street with too much boominess and stuff, because loud music is damaging to your ears. And why would you want thousands of watts in a car? 400 watts for a sub is absolutely plenty for a vehicle, especially mine, because this is a pretty small vehicle too. And I don't like overly loud, ear-piercing music, you know. So yeah. So those are the subs in the back of my car. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed the video, why not look at the other videos we have at youtube.com/MacandTech. We have a bunch of other tech videos and all kinds of stuff. And if you do enjoy the videos and want to see more and get your updates and stuff on when we release new videos, why not subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/MacandTech. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll chat at you later.